First of all, put on glove, this to avoid finger oil, condensation from the air, and also to keep the sample clean. We start with a 4-inch wafer, and this is a 4-inch wafer holder which has a locking mechanism here, and the wafer flat should be at open area here. So we take the wafer and place on the holder, pull the lock and turn to fixed the wafer like this. And the same way with 6-inch wafer holder, there's also locking mechanism here, and the wafer flat should be at open area here. So we take the wafer and place on the holder here and turn to fixed the wafer. And if you have a conductive layer on insulating substrate, so it's a good idea that you use aluminum tape to make an electrical connection between the surface and the holder. This is to prevent the electron beam from charging on the sample, which can cause distortion on the same image. So take the tape here and place it there like this. Yeah, there are a huge number of pin stop designs for same sample, so choose the one that fit your needs. Pin stop with clips here, you can find different types and sizes. These are not allowed to use with the carbon pad. This is good for if you have a conducting layer on the insulating substrate, because the clips will make an electrical connection between sample surface and the holder. I have 2-inch wafer, so I can use the biggest pin stop here. Place on the metal plate. Yes. And you can take the wafer, place on the pin stop, and move the clips over your sample. Here, and fasten all 4 screws. Like this. Yeah, and continue with all 4s. And if you want to have a look at cross section, so you can use this pin stop. Take the sample, place on pin stop, and fasten screw like this. So now it's ready to mount on the same holder. If you can't find a way to mount the sample without using the carbon pad, then there are several types of pin stop here that allow you to use with the carbon pad. These 2 here are flat pin stop, and these are for cross section. I will show you how to mount the small sample on the small pin stop here. So take the carbon pad, place on pin stop, and peel off the paper. There. And take the sample, place on carbon pad, and make sure that it stick to the pin stop. So now we're ready to mount the pin stop to same holder. And you can actually use the aluminum tape with this kind of pin stop. So I'll take this sample out here, and I will show you how to mount the sample with aluminum tape. So I'll take this sample here, place on pin stop, and get to here. I can take this one. and one more. Yes, the other side here. And make sure that the sample stick on pin stop. So now we're ready to mount the pin stop to same holder. Now I'm going to show you how to mount the pin stop on same holder. This one. So you can place the pin stop on the holder and use this screw in until you feel that it's tight. And remember that try not to over tight it, then you can destroy the screw and also the pin. So now we're ready to load the sample. And again with the carbon pad, when you imaging in high magnification, you might see that your image is moved, which called drifting. This is caused by elastic property of the carbon pad. So just to remind you again, if you can find other way to mount the sample without using the carbon pad, it would be the best.